We're very excited to have with us now Victoria Ellacott. Victoria is the owner of Knit Happens, a fabulous shop in Bodmin here in Cornwall. We're talking with Victoria today about some of the benefits that come with getting crafty and meeting in groups. And we're also going to be talking about their amazing new fundraiser, the Knit, Natter and Nude Calendar for 2023. Don't go anywhere with that one. I've got it here in front of me. But before we do that, hello Victoria.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Must admit, that's going to be a good one to talk about a little bit later. But I want to sort of talk about things a bit more professionally first, a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do?
So I run a wool shop in Bodmin. I opened during the lockdown. A bit of a life-changing experience for me. I would say that lockdown actually gave me time to think about what I wanted to do. And the only way I can explain it is, you know, when you're in a bad relationship and you leave that relationship and then you realise how unhappy you were. I think lockdown did that for me.
Right, yes.
I suddenly was at home and thought, God, you know, I really like my crafting, and I'd lost myself along the way, decided to go back to that.
Without going into detail, yes, completely understand that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
You know what, to open a shop during lockdown, that was a risky one, wasn't it?
It was almost everything has been thrown at us, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So there's no other time to do this. It's now or never, because once you get back into the routine of being a mum, doing the school run, going back to your job again, it just passes by, and then you don't do it. So my husband said, if you're going to do it, it's got to be now. So yeah.
I think that's really great. I think a lot of people, myself included, are about things like this, and once you do go for it, you feel so much better for it.
Yeah.
No matter the outcome, and obviously the outcome is good because you're still going, you're doing all these things.
Yep.
So you've told us a little bit there. How did it actually happen? Were there any bumps in the road? What was sort of the process of getting started, especially during lockdown?
I guess it was difficult because you couldn't speak to anybody personally. Viewings of places was quite, an ordeal. So that was quite good fun. And then obviously you had to make decisions on, did you go in town? Did you go out of town? What sort of shop did you want to run? Did you want Workspace? And it was always, for me, I wanted Workspace. I wanted a community in that shop. I didn't just want a store you came into, bought and left again.
I think that's perfect. Obviously with COVID, we talk a lot about people being isolated, getting lonely.
Yeah.
That is I think that's a lovely thing to have with a shop these days. I think a shop by itself isn't enough to have that group as well. And it's beneficial for everyone involved. Yeah,
absolutely. And, there was times during lockdown, because obviously the first year I was actually closed more than I was open.
Right.
And I found that for some people, I was the only person they saw.
Yeah.
So when they came to the shop, it was just me. They lived on their own. They had their shopping delivered, family maybe dropping things off, but really I might have been the only person they came and did click and collect from, and we had a chat on the doorstep. It was, definitely.
A lot more than you think of for a knitting shop, shall we say. You sort of dig deeper. There's a lot more going on there than what you'd see on the front.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do. And knitting, we were talking actually just off air a moment ago, weren't we?
Yeah.
I was talking about how myself and my partner, we went up to some friends and we all happened to end up knitting around a table of all things. Life's a weird one sometimes. But you're talking to me about how it's coming back into fashion almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you say, how long has this been sort of going on for? Because for an age, I've always seen the stereotypical thing of your gran is the one that knits and makes your baby jumpers or that kind of thing. Do you get many people now younger age coming in?
Yeah, huge.
Oh wow.
Huge amount. I think Tom Daly didn't do any bad by starting crocheting during lockdown.
Yes, yeah.
He made it acceptable for men to have a go at something that maybe they wouldn't have. I do get quite a few guys actually that come in, and I also have children that have taught themselves during being locked down.
Incredible.
But their mums may not knit, but their grandmothers do. So there's a whole generation gap there.
Wow.
And then the mums are suddenly coming to crochet classes because they want to have a go as well. It's like, well, I want to do it if everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
It's just become much more. I think people also thought about what they were doing. We're quite a throwaway nation. Mm-hmm. And I think when we were all locked down and we couldn't go clothes shopping and things like that, we had to sort of recycle, reuse, and that made a big difference.
I think people have sort of accessed their own sort of ability to craft things these days and do a bit of DIY, no matter what area it is. I find myself trying to do it. I'm terrible at it, don't get me wrong, but don't let that ever put you off. It's lovely being able to recycle things. It saves you a lot of money, especially in this day and age right now with the cost of living crisis. And to stop the waste as well. It all works. I think it helps you with your mental health as well.
Hugely, absolutely. You know, if you think about it, we all sit there on an evening watching TV. 9 times out of 10, we're watching TV and looking at our phones.
Yes,
we're reading bad news. We're looking at stuff on Facebook that, you know, is a life that we're not living, and we're watching things on the TV that's just...
It's just a constant negative spiral,
always,
isn't it?
Yeah. So on an evening, if you sit there and start crocheting and things like that, it's just totally different.
You've brought some positivity into the world with whatever you're making.
You bring some calm to you. You're still watching that news report, but you're also not stuck in just staring at that. You're in your own headspace as well, which is great.
That's really nice. I love that. We're going to talk about your amazing calendar in a minute. I'm looking for that. So I haven't looked at this calendar yet because you want some natural responses from me, and you will get some natural responses from me. However, you offer classes and workshops at the shop, I believe. Could you tell me a bit about those?
Oh, we do all sorts of workshops there. We do knit and natter twice a week, so anybody is welcome. And we call it knit and natter, but to be honest with you, we get everything now. So we get cross stitch. We get a chap that rag rugs. We've even had a guy come with his wife that sat in the corner and sketched for a couple of hours. Wow. So lace making, you know, all sorts going on. It's just nice. Sometimes it's nice just to come and have a go at what someone else is having a go at, to be fair.
I like that.
Yeah. Whenever
we go up to, again, same group of friends, we visit often out of county. They're all very crafty people. The amount of, as in they do a lot of crafting, they do so much, so many different things. It's incredible. And one of them, I won't name them because I know they're nervous about this kind of thing, but just amazing leatherwork, absolutely amazing, top tier, professional, and they've never been professionally taught. They've got all the right tools they've learnt, and they make some incredible stuff. I buy their stuff over a lot of typical factory-made stuff every time. And I think we've forgotten that joy and of being able to make these things, and often they last longer. You know, we find the better ways of making them. Yes, things may cost more, but they're better value for money, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're big advocates of social prescribing here at Chaos. We talk about it all the time because it's working, especially with COVID and isolation, as we've mentioned. It involves getting together for a bit of a chat in groups or going outside, getting into nature, things like that, and a little bit like groups like yours. What would you say is some of the benefits for people coming together in your shop?
If you're a little bit nervous about meeting new people, like for the workshops especially, if you're coming along, and I only do small workshops, so there's only tends to be 4 or 6 people in them. Okay. It's nice to sit there and learn how to do something without that pressure of having to speak to somebody constantly. Yeah. And then you can see people warm up as they're going, and then friendship groups are made. You know, you've got something in common with somebody, and then they may come back to another class and meet that person again and be like, oh, hello, I've met you before. And then suddenly it moves on, you're coming to knit and natter, and then that group is formed. You know, that person that you may never have spoken to in the street, suddenly is someone that, and you may only speak via social media on my page, but you know who that person is. They're not just a name. It's different. It's a different friendship.
That's really nice. I find myself, I'm terrible with meeting new people. Yes, I know that may seem weird in the job role I'm in. I am terrible, especially going into any kind of size group. Yeah. But I think if you're giving something to do at the same time, it takes so much off. You sort of almost forget that you're meeting new people. You're concentrating on what you're doing. It
does. It releases that pressure of, oh no, I've got to speak to everybody now. Yeah. You haven't, because you're going to learn how to do something, and everyone's going to do it with you, and then you're all just going to start talking quite naturally. It's more of a natural conversation. So yeah.
Perfect. Let's move on now. We're going to be talking about your charity fundraiser, the Natter and Nude Calendar.
Yes.
So whose fabulous idea was this?
Well, it was a lady called Sarah.
Okay.
She gets us into lots of trouble. It started off as a massive joke, and I think one of the ladies does body painting.
Right.
And it sort of stemmed from there and then went into, we could do a nude calendar. I was working downstairs and kept coming up and sort of looking at them and shaking my head. And I think they carried it on because they thought it was quite funny, because obviously I was finding it a bit like, oh my God, where are we going?
Of course.
But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, actually, this is really possible.
Amazing.
And we could really do this.
Well, I happen to have here on my lap this calendar. I don't know if I come up closer a minute, just so people at home can see this. Let me see if I can balance this right. There we go. You kind of get the idea with this one. Very well angled shots with wool in all the right places, shall we say. And you want my reactions? I have a look now.
Go.
Okay, let's have a look here. Okay. Well then. This is quite interesting, isn't it? I think I'm going to need to actually ask, am I definitely okay to show these on camera? Somebody behind the scenes could tell me.
You might not want to give too much away.
Sorry, what was that, Owen? Henry says yes. Okay, well, we're doing this then. Let's have a look at January. I'm not going to lie, it looks quite cold. Here we go. Oh, we're going to wait. Whoa, hang on, we're over here now. Very well angled of the camera, so we get the kind of point here. We've got some very nice wool work going on. Let's go on to February. Oh, I like she looks like she's having a whale of a time with this one. She
absolutely roared all day. It was great.
And we'll have a look at this one. There we go. Let's have a look at one more just to keep it going, just see if we get a shock out of me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to end on this one.
Wowzers.
Cornish pride here, people. Cornish pride. How about that one? Absolutely do approve, 100%.
Pasty Slayer.
Pasty Slayer. There we go. But I absolutely love this. Now, all joking aside, the funds of this are going to be going to the Mermaid Centre.
Yes.
At Trelisk, and also Cornwall Air Ambulance. Both great causes, obviously. Why have you chosen these?
So Cornwall Air Ambulance, I just think, is a fantastic charity. We've, as a family, we've supported it in the past with various things, and it needs to be looked after and taken care of.
Yeah.
It does a great deal just for everybody, and there's people that have come into the shop that I know have used the Cornwall Air Ambulance personally, and it's made a massive difference to their life.
It takes a lot of upkeep as well. People don't realise you can't just have it and that's it. There's not much more needs to be done. You've got the wages of the wages of those in there, the pilot, the medical team. You've got the general upkeep of a helicopter. You know, it needs to run.
Yes.
And the fuel cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just a great team.
Absolutely. And I think there's not many people who can't say they haven't been affected or helped by the air ambulance in some way, shape or form, or their family or some friends. And
what I like about them greatly about being a charity is my little boy did some cycling for them. He raised quite a lot of money.
Brilliant.
And they actually invited him down, and he met the team, and he sat in the helicopter, and they took the time out to say thank you, and it was so great to him. He remembers that day. It was great.
Amazing. I've actually watched a programme recently on air ambulances in general, to see how they work. And my goodness me, they have to deal with so much. The teams deal with so much sort of traumatising things on the ground, and they keep such a good positive attitude no matter what. They're so deserving of anything they can get. So where can people find out more info and obviously get a copy of that amazing calendar?
So it is available in the Cornwall Air Ambulance shops. So all 7 of the shops, and it's also available via my website, which is www.knit-happens.co.uk. So you can pre-order from there.
Fantastic. Well, I must admit, I'm quite tempted myself. I'm sure Ellen and my other half at home will be more than welcoming of this, along with a raised eyebrow or two, I'm sure. It's absolutely brilliant. It's really good quality as well. I will say that now. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us about this. It's really good. Really well done for everything you do with your shop, because obviously it's more than just a shop. You're doing so much for people in the community as well, and that's absolutely brilliant. I love that when people put a little bit more effort in, more than just what you see on the face. So thank you so much for everything you're doing. Thank you for coming in.